Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Tonight, second weekend of January, there is nothing going on. There's the Battle of Luzon is the weekend special, and basically it just is leaning towards awards for playing like a champ. There are no tanks that are on sale. But I wanted to take a little time tonight because since we're talking about a battle that happened in the Pacific, and I think, let me check it, hang on. Yes, an island in the Philippines. Whoa, microphone pop. Where is my mic thing? Oh well, I lost my pop cover. So sometimes when I say P, it's going to sound like a rocket going off. So I want to talk about the Japanese line and one tank in particular. Tonight we're going to take a look at the Kiho. This has become, over the last year, one of my favorite tanks. And I don't play it a ton because I really, I play at the higher tiers when possible. Or if I come down tiers, I play my premium tanks. So this one doesn't get a whole lot of usage. We'll take a look at the statistics. I've had 87 battles. But this should tell you something. It's a tier 4 tank, but I'm carrying 550 experience per battle with a 59% win rate. That's pretty good. I average, 1.3 vehicles destroyed per battle, which is not bad. And I have a pretty high 1.7 destruction ratio / damage ratio with this tank. I have a 0.01 armor use efficiency. Now that's because this tank has no armor, but it's a little beast. I think this tank gets overlooked, and here's the reason why. If you look at the line, most people that have been playing this game for a long time are probably going to free XP their way all the way to the Chi-Nu. Maybe even the Chi-2. They just bypass all these tanks. They don't want to deal with them. So, and now the people that go down, they're actually grinding these tanks. Most often, I'm going to take the wild guess that they do what I did. When I first started playing the game, I decided to go down the French line, and I'm going to show you why. Because at Tier 4, the French get a heavy tank. At the time, it was the only tank line that had a heavy tank at Tier 4. Shows you how long ago that was. It was when the French line first came out. It was when I started playing the game. Well, I didn't know how bad the B1 was at the time. I thought, well, this is a great tank, so it's a heavy and it's on Tier 4, so I went down this line as opposed to any of the other lines because this is the first one to get a heavy. I think the same thing happens here. People that are new players, well, I don't want a light tank. I want a medium tank because I want to get a bigger tank. Now, of course, the Japanese line is primarily medium, obviously. They don't really have a heavy tank, so. But it just makes sense that they would bypass the light line. Why the heck would you take those when you could get mediums right away? Well, the Chi-Hi sucks. I'm sorry. It's a terrible tank. But they skip the Kiho. They don't even know it's there. And so you almost never see the Kiho in battle. I mean, it's really rare that you see one out there. And I love, most of the time when I see people driving one, they do really well on it. So let's take a look. The gun, of course, is probably the most outstanding part of this tank. It's 25 rounds a minute. That's pretty fast. So every 2 seconds you're firing. Has 87 penetration, which is not superb at Tier 4, but it's not bad. It's kind of average, and it does 75 damage. Well, that doesn't sound like much, but for this tank, especially in a Tier 4 battle, it's completely sufficient. When you get up to Tier 6, well, then you're having a problem. But one of the nice things about this tank, unlike some of the other Tier 4 premium, light tanks or scout tanks, this tank does not get scouting MM. It gets standard MM. So it sees Tiers 4, 5, and 6. And it does so on a rather even basis. So unlike a tank like the PZ-38T or the Panzer, the 3... was it the 3C, or even more so the Lux or the Russian T-50, those tanks will see up to Tier 7, I think. And the Lux might not. I think the Lux only sees Tier 6 also, but it primarily sees Tier 6 battles. Most of the time you're playing with those tanks in high-tier battles as a scout. They treated this tank with an easier MM scheme, so it oftentimes gets Tier 4 and 5 battles. And that makes a difference because this is not a scout tank. This is pretty much a sniper tank. It's almost like a little miniature tank destroyer. It reminds me very much of a turreted Martyr 38T. That's where we're going with this. So at tier 4, this is one of my most destructive tanks that I own. Another reason why this tank is great is because of its size. Let's take a look at the Type 64 here. Once again, Type 59. Not 59, 5916, sorry. This is a little teeny scout tank, right? The Valentine 2, about the same size. It's a very small profile tank. But unlike the Valentine 2 and the Valentine, this thing actually has a wicked gun on it. Here's the T50. The T50 is larger. Now the T50 is faster, but the Kehoe kind of fills this weird niche of being a sniper tank that's really small. People have a hard time hitting this thing. And I've learned, you know, you take a couple shots, as soon as they look at you, you start moving, and most often people are going to miss you. Now, if they do hit you, well, the bad news is you have no armor. So you're going to get penetrated almost definitely if you get hit. Even in the front. You got 20 in the front of the hull, 30 on the front of the turret. But so don't rely on any armor. It just is not, it's not going to do you any good. But it has a pretty decent view range of 340, and I've added the optics, so that makes it about, what would that be, 34 more, so 374 is my view range. And like I said, it's got decent traverse speed of 60. It's one of the fastest traverse speeds in the game. Top speed of 50, but it gets up there pretty good. It's not a slug by any means, but it's not a fast tank. It definitely does not feel like a Lux when it's all upgraded, or even the T50. I mean, it really feels more like that Panzer 38T in mobility, but it gets much easier matchmaking. So if you haven't checked out this tank, first of all, it doesn't cost anything really to get to it. It's very easy to get to. But I think that you're going to enjoy it. And as you can see right now, I'm training my crew on camo. I want this tank to be more of an invisi tank. So it only pops up and shoots, and then you can get hidden pretty fast. But I'm not sure what crew skills I'll work on next. But for right now, it's been working pretty well for this tank. So it's kind of like a little sniper slash flanker, but it has a pretty hefty gun that hits fast. And like I said, I don't really ever feel like I'm not penetrating my targets, except for when I play on tier 6 with this. That's a little bit harder. So let's go ahead and run this guy, and you can see what I'm talking about. So, of course, for the video, you know, the first battle I get into is tier 6. Talking about how great and wonderful this thing is at lower tiers. And so let's do the best we can. We're obviously going to have to play it very safe. And we can even do a little scouting action. You know, unlike the ELC that's going to fly through, I'm going to have to play it a little bit more safe and kind of peek around corners and as carefully as possible spot enemies for our team. But here we go. So yeah, but this is definitely one of my favorite tanks. And if I'm having a bad night and I want to do something fun, I definitely go to this tank for that entertainment. In fact, my first battle tonight, I played one battle before I started this recording, and you know, get a little warm up. And I, once again, was the top scorer on the team. Did 900 damage. It was a tier 4 battle. Got 3 kills. Now I did end up dying. I was actually streaming from this computer to my Mac to see how it worked, and the mouse was way oversensitive. So I was having a little bit of difficulty getting that set up while I was playing, but that T40's in trouble. Chaffee. Bad tank to run into. Alright, so I'm gonna skedaddle out of here. He's obviously gonna flank around. I'm the only person on this side of the map. Unbelievable. And you know that Chaffee's going to be looking for me now. He'll tear me apart. The Chaffee is a pretty powerful little tank, and I don't have the chutzpah to take care of him, but hopefully this Panzer 4H will be able to help. There he is. He's just waiting. Oh, man. Oh, sorry. Oh, this guy. I didn't want him to come where I was. I just wanted him to help me. I haven't fired yet, so I don't know that I've been spotted. Unfortunately, I don't have Sixth Sense, but... Yeah, and I can't penetrate the front of the M4. Here comes the chaffers. Now, I didn't destroy him, but I hit him. Alright, I'm going to go around. That was funny. Hey, there's oh no, it's an easy 2. I thought that was an easy 4. Those are pretty rare. Hetza! Hetza in the window. This guy has no idea what's going on, does he? Man. There we go. This gun is going to prove me wrong. Here I'm talking about how great it is and how I never have issues penetrating, and first thing that happens, I get in a tier 6 match and I can't penetrate anything. Go! Now you know he's going to be turned around facing the other way, so... Let's see here. Oh boy, this is the end. I'm gonna try to get out. He's definitely gonna crush me. Come on, KV Road. Oh well. I did what I could. All right, next battle. Oh, the clan detachments are going out. Gonna have to tell him I can't do it. Oh well. Alright, so this is the part of the video that you guys never get to see. It's like as I'm doing these reviews, I have to sit here and wait for my tank to come back. Sometimes I run another battle. Sometimes I do 2 reviews at once, but tonight I'm kind of just wanting to do this and then be done because I've got a headache. So, you know, it's kind of funny though. It is really cold outside, and what's funny is that this scene here looks just like what my front yard looks like. Though not so pretty with the lights, but it's one of those cold, blustery, snowy winter nights. Yeah, so the Kiho just came back. Let's take a look at the stats. And as you saw, I didn't do great, but I got my average experience at 526. I made 14,000. Now that was premium, so non-premium that would have been 351. Not so great. It did okay on the team score, you know. Did more damage than 2 of our heavy tanks. And our Hetzer. Alright, let's go ahead and run another one. Alright, here's a battle a little more my speed. We got a tier 5 matchup. As you can see here, on a size comparison, even compared to the T-40, which is a pretty small tank destroyer, that thing just is like twice my size. Gun depression ain't bad on this tank. You know what? Some of the Japanese tanks have some bad gun depression, but this one's really not too bad. And you have to use that to your advantage for sure. Got to do the best you can to take advantage of all the good things on your tank. Like I said, it's not blazing fast. I am a little faster than some of the other tanks we're running up here alongside, but it's definitely not rocket fast. I'm going to try to peek over here and hopefully won't be getting myself into trouble. The downside is, because of where we started, they're going to be pretty close pretty fast. So I just want to get a little peep, see what we got. There. Get down. The Chinu is going to be coming after me here. No, we both missed. He's a big softy. I'll sit still for a minute, try to get disappeared here. Stug's still shooting at me. Nice miss. Nice bounce. But see, like I said, I'm a pretty small target. It's hard to hit me. I don't understand why our guys haven't pushed up on that dude, because he's pretty... And he missed again. So you're using my gun depression to my advantage. And we both missed. And I bounced. He's got a pretty tough front plate. The Stug is not... Oh, the Chinu outmaneuvered me. I'm coming down. Once again, I'm a small target. It's hard to deal with me because I'm not big. I'm not sure what our team is doing here. It looks like our Churchill decided to YOLO. And that's what happens when you YOLO. You die and disappear. On the lower half of the map, they seem to be moving together in a concerted effort. My 2-year-old son just came in the room laughing. I think we're going to... Wow, this is bad. Bad, bad, bad. I'm going to try to go up and take care of this Chinu because he's obviously raining terror down on my friends. Oh, are you kidding? These guys are terrible. Stop throwing yourselves away. No. I don't know if I'll provide enough of a distraction, but they're all moving in for the kill. Well, the only one I can hit's the KV, and I probably don't have enough gun penetration to get through his anything. Yeah, I just don't got it. It's not even worth shooting at him because... finally! A luck shot. I'm going to back out because he's looking my way. There we go. Well... Stug's going after the artillery. I'm going to try to find that Chinu. Where's that Panzer IV? Is he... and of course they're going to all sit on cap and die. Typical of the Reds. But I can cause as much trouble as possible. I don't know. Those guys are going to the base. That's kind of a waste. But these guys are morons. Ay, ay, ay. Oh. Well, at least they killed one of the big ones. There's our Chinu. Nah. Oh man. This is the plague. Whenever you get around, I don't know what it is about the holidays, but whenever you get around the holidays, you just get this like influx of terrible players. I see this all the time. This is not uncommon for teams to just kind of fold. Yeah, I'm gonna have a hard time now because I got 2 guys coming. It's probably gonna end ugly. Yeah. Ugly, ugly. Oh well. And you know you're on a bad team. I didn't do that well. 369 was my experience. 246. But I was the second highest scorer on the team. Yeah, I did what I could. You know, it wasn't great, but it was good. Let's do one more. All right, another tier 5 battle. Like I'd say, this is a little more typical of the matchmaking. Seems like you get a lot of tier 4s and 5s. Sometimes you get a tier 6 though, like that last one, or the first one. Mick, I know you hate me blaming teams, but there's a lot of bad stuff going on right now. I'm doing the best I can. My win rate's been miserable. I know, like over the last 2 weeks, I think I've had like a 38% win rate, maybe like 40 or 50 games. Just miserable. Now I'm also grinding a couple tanks, so that affects it for sure. But it's just the teams have been so bad they either all collapse or all stick together. But it seems like it's always really one-sided, regardless of which side you're on. I just seem to happen to be on the wrong side of it more often than not as of late. Thankfully, I still carry a pretty high win rate over the last 1,000 battles, but it's definitely dropped. I was at like 55, I think. I'm back down to 53 after the last month of play. So... Yep, here goes our first medium. No, it's a gross tractor. Oh, we're alright. Poor little gross tractor. Okay, well, I'm going to push up. I got support now, so... I hate doing it, but let's see what happens. See, decent gun depression. Wow, I am really shocked we haven't run into anybody yet. Well, there's the first. I'm gonna pass right by him because I don't. Now I'm spotted, obviously. He saw me and backed off, so I'm just gonna push right around. We need to get these guys spotted. Interesting place for the priest. Very interesting. I wonder what I'm gonna run into over here. Should I be afraid? Not yet. This guy might back down here thinking safety. Does he know I'm here? Oh, he does now. You got a good shot in there. Oh boy, now I'm wallowing in the water. I thought I'd get the shot off fast enough before he could fire. But I was wrong. Here's where the slowness comes in. Of course, we're going uphill and having the... this reminds me of my Scion XB. Just not enough horsepower. I have a feeling they said kill all. I don't know. I don't think we're in that good of a position. What did you say, Seth? Oh, good. Text message. Okay, now we're starting to dominate here. Churchill's going back to base. Don't see any artillery back here, so I am probably very visible. Yeah, there's a target I can hit. So the gun accuracy, it's like it's typical of the Japanese guns. It's a little bit all over the place. Usually it's fairly decent. That PC-1C? No, T-67. Oh, yo, look at all these guys up on the hill firing back at us. I don't think I'm going to be able to go through the front of that Su-85. Oh, maybe. Need to back off here. Get behind a building. Find some safety. What's up, Seth? Sure. All right, there we go. That was a good battle. All right, so let's see the results. And once again, I am up near where I belong as far as my experience goes. 553, 465 really. But look where I fell in the team. I mean, you know, I moved up a couple spots. We did good. Did a lot of damage. 465 damage. You know, so for, like I said, this is a fun little tank, especially if you like that kind of snipe and run style. It really, because of its size, it gets ignored quite often. And a lot of people, honestly, they don't know really what it is because you don't see them very often. So it's definitely one of those tanks that's ignored. Is it as good as the Martyr 38T? No. Is it as good as the Matilda 4? I don't know. I think in a big battle, like a tier 5 or 6 battle, I like it better than being in the Matilda, not the Matilda 4, the regular Matilda. I like being in this better than the Matilda. Because it's small, so I like once again I get ignored and I can kind of scoot around, and the Matilda's super slow. So, so anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. This is definitely a small tank to check out, an easy one to get, and it's really worth the small grind that you have to do to get there. So anyway, I just want you guys to, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe and leave your comments down below, and I will, I do my best to respond to everybody if I can. So anyway, have a great night, and I will see you on the battlefield.